Welcome back everyone. This is another video in the Defender tutorial series, or at least remake series, not really tutorial, just me bumbling around, and there's plenty of bumbling in this one. This one we're going to be doing the radar, so that's the little view at the top there. You can probably see it just above me in this corner here. And of course all of that starts after the fade. At the very top of the Defender screen there is a radar. And the radar shows, it doesn't show in this example here, but the radar does show little blips where the baddies are. So this is the entire length of the world, and it scrolls left to right depending on where you are in the world. So today what we're going to do is we're going to build this radar, and we're going to base it on the positions of the items in here. So I have an idea how we're going to do it. I think we need another camera. And we're going to add blips to these positions here. Now there's probably other ways to do it, but this is probably the biggest cheat type way, and we'll build up the interface here. So that's what we're going to do just now. So first things first, back in Unity, I'm going to create a canvas. So this is just simple as UI, and I'm going to create an image, and the canvas itself, that's fine. I'm going to give it a screen space camera. Is that the one you did? No, screen space overlay, scale with screen size. That's the one I want. So it's 800 by 450. So that gives us a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. And I'm going to do 0.5. And then the reference pixels per unit. I think we should be okay leaving it at 100. I think. Maybe. Okay, so here is that image. I am going to make it as long as the screen itself. So when we look at the screen, it's going to be that length, which is just slightly off. That's not so good. Let's make it slightly bigger. It doesn't really matter as long as we have the center. As long as we have it centered there, that's the sort of important part. So that's good there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do art, and then I'm going to create another folder here called UI. And then I'm going to show an explorer. And just drag that over here, and then go to here, go to resources, PNGs, and I'm going to bring in blip, and I'm going to bring in radar border. So these resources are going to be available on the GitHub, so the link below in the show notes. And then we go back to here, wrap shooter, assets, art, UI, and then paste in there. And that will copy those values across. Or will it? No, it didn't, because my control key isn't working as well as it should do. So copy, and art, and UI, paste. There we go. So now we go in here, we get radar border, which is this, this border shape here, and we're going to put that in here. So if I go and grab the image, I can drag that into here. I can go boink, like that, and then we get our radar image there. It's slightly, no, actually that's the right aspect ratio, I think. It's maybe just a little bit. Actually, we could probably drag that out just a little bit more. Stretch it out just a little bit more. And that's probably going to do it there. And I think it's slightly down as well. And we're going to anchor that to the top center as well. So that is looking good. Okay. Now, we're going to have to fix this as well, because now our ship now goes up too far. as do our baddies. So we need to fix that. In fact, that's quite far up. So I think we probably have to bring this one down a little bit. And just kind of finagling it just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay. So when we look at it in the scene view, that's good. So it's tracking behind there, that's fine. So what we need to do is we need to get a texture behind there as well. Now the way I think we're going to do that is if we have a, what do we need to do? We need to create a render texture first of all. So the render texture is going to be the same size as this thing here. So I am going to go and create another image component. So I'm going to do UI image. Can I make it a raw image? I think I can make it a raw image. It might be better as a raw image. We'll see. I haven't tried this before, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, so that is, we want to get that kind of in here. I don't even see what I'm trying to do here, but I want to get it in so it's right in the corner here. So that is about as far into the corner as I can get it. And then we're going to do the same thing over on this side here. So right now it's on top of this border. We're going to place it behind it in just a second. And I'm going to grab that there. And so the width of this is 282. Let's make it 282. And the height is, for all intents and purposes, 70. That's good enough. And okay, and now to make it go behind that, we grab this and we just drag it so that it's there. Boom, there you go, it's now behind it. I don't know if you can see that, but those little legs there are behind that. And we can change the color of it to black or whatever we want to render it as. But I'm going to render it as just white just now. Okay, now what we need is we need another camera. So I'm going to create a camera, and this camera, I'm going to call this radar view, and I want to render this to a texture. So the raw image is 282 by 70. So the width of it, oh, this is where math comes in, is going to be, I want the height of this as well. So that's going to be calc. You know what, let's play it by ear. Let's figure out how big the camera is going to be first of all. Okay, so let's go back to the radar view here. So right now the radar view takes up that amount of space, which is not good. What we want it to do is we want it to take up, we want it to show the screen view. So wherever the screens are. So if we click on screens, you'll see that screens are way down here. So I want the camera to be away down here as well. So the camera, the main camera is down here. So let's go and grab that transform. So copy component, and then we'll paste that into our component down here, paste component values. So now the camera is actually looking down there. So you can see that the camera view is down here. And we want to get the camera to show all of the screens at the same time. So we need to make sure it's centered. So we'll get that just a little bit closer. And then we're gonna make this orthographic because we don't want it to change size. It's going to be the same depth. and then the size of it is going to be the width of the screen. So the width of the screen, actually the width of the screen, if I look at the main camera, the main camera is orthographic. The size is 0.28. So if I make that 0.28 times 4, 0.28 times 4, oops, what is that? 0.28 times 4. That doesn't seem right. 1.12. Oh, okay, maybe it is. Boom, okay. And that should make that the same size as that. So if I go to game, okay, that is about the same size as that. So it just needs to be just a little bit nudge along. So if I make that 0, boom, okay, there we go. So now for this camera, I am going to move it so that it's positioned that the 1, 2, 3, 4 is at the top of the screen. The way I do that is I just change the Y value, so I can change the Y value there, and probably easier just moving this one here. Is that one here? Okay, so that should be roughly over there. Okay. Now, for this one, I want to create. I don't want to. I don't want to show everything. So I don't want to show the 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to show any of that. I don't want to show the UI. I don't want to see anything else in this camera. I just want to see the blips. And the way that I'm going to do that is I am going to change a couple of things around here. So we have culling mask, and you see that we have nothing, everything, default, blah, 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 blah. No, never mind Siri. I don't know why Siri's jumping in there. We don't want any of these things. So I'm going to create a new tag, a new layer, sorry. And I'm going to create a new layer here, and I'm going to call it radar blips. So now I have a new layer called radar blips. And I go back to radar view, and instead of culling mask for everything, I'm going to choose radar blips. No, I don't want nothing, and I want radar blips only. So now the radar view only shows radar blips. That's all it shows. And I'm going to project it onto here, onto this plane, this object here. So anytime I see a radar blip, it's going to get projected on there. And how I'm going to do that? Well, over here, there's a little, you can see that here in the video, but it says target texture, none render texture. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a render texture, which is going to be the same size as the window. So the same ratio as the window, which is 16 by 9, but it's going to fit in here as well. So the smaller you make it, the less memory it takes up, but when you blow it up, then it's gonna, it's not gonna be the same. You're gonna get jaggies or it's gonna be blurred or whatever. So for this one, I think if we make that, it's 282 by 70. So I think if we do 282, 282 multiplied by 9, divide by 16, that gives us 158. So if I make it 256 by 150, what was that, 158? 158. That's that 5 there I've drawn is the same as an 8. So to create that, I'm going to go to UI, and then I'm going to do create render texture. And this is going to be radar texture. Doesn't really matter what it's called. And so the default size is 256 by 256. We're going to make it 282 by 158. And you can see, you can't see because it's way down here. You can see that it's the same aspect ratio as the screen, which is 16 by 9. So that is good. Clamp, and then we'll get filter mode by linear. Let's make it point. wrap mode. Let's leave it as clamp just now. I'm going to save the scene, and now I'm going to go into our raw image, and where it says texture none, I'm going to go and drag and drop the render texture. So now render texture is gone because it's not actually seeing anything, so that's why it's gone blue, because the camera's seeing blue. If I go into radar view and I change the background color and I change it to yellow or orange or whatever, then you'll see that it's changing the background there. But if I change it to black, obviously it's showing as black everywhere. The camera itself, culling mask, skybox, yeah, I want to do that there. I think that's okay. So now if I run the game, that's not so good because it is still rendering. It's still rendering. Oh no, that's right. Sorry, darn it. So it's rendering to the target texture. I also need to do that in here as well. So I need to drag that render texture there. Now that means that it's not going to. It shouldn't render to here. Although it seems to be doing that. Ah, there we go. Okay. Right. I don't know why it was. I don't know why it was doing that. Okay. So that's good. And now that we have that in there, we need to then have our blips. So if we go to art and then we go to our lander, so remember we have a prefab here, so we have our lander. So if we grab our lander and double click it, why is it not showing up? Ah, there you go. Okay. So scene, and we have our lander. I'm going to create another 2D object, and I'm going to call this a sprite. And this is going to be our blip. And our blip is going to be our blip. Like that. Okay. Now, it's a little bit too big. That's okay. I can live with that. But we need to change that to radar blips. Okay. And that's all we need to do for that. However, when we go back into the game now, anytime we spawn it, we will see that radar blip. So wait till you see this. Yeah. Now you'll see that we have the radar blips up here, which is good. But they're all sorts of, they're all ski with, which is a technical term. So it is working. It's just that I think the problem is the raw image needs to be the same. So if I go to raw image here, 2D, so raw image, I think the height of it has to be 158 as well. Okay. Okay, I think that might fix it. And then that should give us square ones. Yeah, there you go. So square ones there. And I go to screen 2. And those ones are there as well. So those blips are far too big. So if we go back to our lander, prefab, lander, you see that our lander's quite big there. So let's make that, well, first of all, let's put it position 0, 0. Oh no, what did I do there? Wait, what? Oh, that's why that's out. Why is that at the wrong position? Oh, maybe that's why they're spawning in these weird places. Haha. Okay, so let's make blip just a little bit smaller on the X and Y. So let's make it 0.5 and 0.5. Actually, let's make it 0.25. It seems a bit big for that as well. 0.25. 2, 3, 2, 1, 3. Yeah, that seems okay. That blip seems a little bit better. Okay, and we'll play it. Because it shouldn't be overwhelmed, it should just be like a tiny blip. Okay, that's better. So now we can see those 3 ones there. Now, the problem that we have now is that we're in the wrong place. So we should be spawning the UV coordinate should be mapped to where you are. So these are in the right place. You can see that this one, and this one, they match that screen. And we go over here, you can see that these ones match this configuration. And when we go to this one, 3 will match that as well. And then we go over to 4. And you see that 4 is 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is 1, 2, and 3 there. So they are matching up. We might have to tweak some of those values, but it's okay. The problem though is the actual screen. So the UV coordinate has to match the same as this one. So we have to know what the UV coordinate is. And I think we should be able to get access to that. So let's go to our main camera has this here. So if I go to cam move, I think we need to know we can change the UV coordinates. So that is going to be there. Let's find out what the UV coordinate is. So I think it should be, well, this is like a quarter of the screen-ish, give or take. So that should be two-thirds of the way in, I think. So we go to raw image, let's call this radar visual. And I don't know how I can't do the UV rect. Or can I? I can. So if I do that as 0.3 on the X, what do we get from that? Okay. So I think it's because that clamp. Remember we did the clamp earlier on? So let's do per axis. Repeat. Actually, I don't want that. I just want to do a clamp for that one. Okay. Oh, that didn't work. That did not work. What am I going to do here? Let's try that 0. Let's change it when we get something on the screen, and then that way we can actually see what's on the screen. Okay, so there's that there. So this should be in here. Now this is the wrong size anyway, so we'll need to change this this visual here, because that should be one screen. So this is a little bit off, shall we say? So if I change the X, so I think what we need to do is we need to do a repeat on there. So if we go back to our assets, art, UI, and then we do a repeat. Oh, we've got a repeat on. I wonder why the repeat's not working. Let me check something. Okay, this is not good. I think you describe it as that. So here's what I had. If I leave everything as is and I don't change anything, I just have the repeat on, and I go to my radar visual here, and then I change the X, it disappears. So you can see that at the top of the screen there, it's gone. So it goes off the other end there, comes on the other end there. However, if I go to the render texture that I created, and instead of having anti-aliasing as none, I change it to 2 samples. And then I run it. I get a little bit of aliasing, and you'll see it on here. See, there's a little bit of aliasing there, but it does work. So you see that now it does repeat. So that's a little bit annoying, but okay. So that's at negative 1.4. So if I do negative 1.5, negative 1. Hmm. 0.4. So we start at 0.6. That seems to be about right. I just need to stretch the screen just a little bit. So 0.6. What if I do 0.5? That's too far over. Oh no, that's screen 1, isn't it? No, but it has to be centered to that one. So it's got to be 0.6. Probably 0.62. Actually, 0.62 is right. So 0.62 is bang slap there. 0.62. If only was a nice way where you could just get these working perfectly, but never mind. So we go to scene, and I go to radar. Where's my radar? Image, which is this one here. And I change the width of this just to stretch it out. What do I need to do to make this larger? I don't want to make it too big, or else it's basically taking up the entire screen there. Yeah, I don't want to make it too big. And if I make it 850, it's probably too big. I mean, that would make it the right size, but then I'd have to adjust the render texture as well. So what would I need to do to make that the same size? Decisions. Okay. Okay, well, let's figure that out in a bit. Okay, let me go back to here. Let's say radar start radar pause equals 0.62, and then I'll have float radar pause equals 0.62. Let's just set it off up there. Update radar pause. Oops. Private void update radar position. And then we need our raw image. So our raw image is going to be public raw image radar. The radar image. Before we continue, let me just drag and drop that onto there. So yeah, we've got our radar visual, so we just drag that onto there, and that's our raw image. So now inside here, we're going to do update radar pause. So it's going to be, what is it going to be? It's going to be raw radar dot. Do we have access to it? Right. No, UV rect dot x equals radar pause. Of course, can't do that because it is a property. Okay. What can I do? Radar rect dot set. I don't want to set all of these. Why can't we just set X? You know what? We can just set X. Let me create a add class rect extensions public static set float x float let's just do set x float x this rect using Unity Engine. Get rid of all of that, and we can say rect dot set x comma rect dot y comma rect dot width comma rect dot height. Okay, and then we go back to here and we do dot set x rect radar pause. So when it starts, we're calling update radar pause here, and then that is going to then shunt everything across. So we should get everything around about here. No. Why would it? Radar visual. Is that not updating? Let's put a breakpoint on here. Huh. Well, that set it to be 0. Why did it do that? That's just not cricket. X is that. Rect is that. Rect is now 0.62. What? You know, sometimes Unity just does what it wants to do. radar.uvrect equals new rect radar.uvrect.y height width radar pause. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's not ideal, but clearly the Unity gods have shone their light and told us that what we're doing is wrong and we have to do it this way. This won't work either. Okay, okay, whatever. Right, so now we need to do our update radar pause. So this is going to be update radar pause, and then the position is going to be where do we have it as the leftmost screen and then the rightmost screen. So it's going to be right minus left. So we're going to have var diff equals right minus left. And then it's going to be the position inside there, which is var offset equals transform equals position minus left. I don't even know if this is right. Radar equals offset divided by diff. Who knows? Because position minus left. What is position? Position is vector 3. Oh, and left is float. So that's going to be position dot x minus left. Okay. And then offset diff x float. Oh, radar pause, that's why. Okay. And this is probably not going to work, but we'll see what happens. Well, it's sort of working. I mean, it's kind of doing what it was supposed to do. So I don't think we need that update there. I don't think we need that to start with because this is going to start way before anyone else. So it's not going to update that radar position straight away anyway. So this one is offset wrong. So the position of the main camera is minus 1.5. So that is minus 1.5, which is I don't know what that is in there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and make a better radar that is 16 by 9 as opposed to this aspect ratio, which is not 16 by 9 because you can see that it's like this tiny thing here. And I'm also going to create some debug graphic in there. So I'm going to go away and do that just now, and I'll come back with an updated graphic because otherwise we're going to be here all night. All right, I created a new radar border, so I'm going to call this radar border. This object here, radar border, and I'm going to change that to radar border new. Where are we? Radar border new. It's going to change it to that. The width is 850 and the height is 70. So that is how it's going to look. And we're just going to make sure that we're centered. So the position is going to be 0. And the Y just slightly north of that. Okay. Which means that our this screen here is actually wrong now. So our radar view, our radar texture here is actually not 282 by 185 now. It is 496 by 70. I think we could probably get away with that there, but let's go back to our scene and then click on the radar visual. You see that our radar visual is now much larger than that there. So we want to bring that, sorry, radar visual is here. So we want to make that as big as this one here, which is 496. So that's going to be 496 times 9 divided by 16, which is 279. So 496 by 279, which is that size there, and then the position is going to be roughly here. Okay, and that's going to give us the same aspect ratio, and so this should be a little bit easier to calculate. Or at least it's going to look a little bit better. So, well, I mean, it looks better already because of the aspect ratio. So we're slightly off as well here. So to get this on screen, we're actually gonna. Where is this? Oh, because it's updating in real time. Darn it. Let's turn that off for just now. Let's go grab that. And go back. So when we first come in here, we need to offset it by a certain value. So we start off at minus, our first screen is -1, so that's our default value. So really the radar is actually showing world 4 here, a bit of world 3 here, the remainder of world 3 here, and then 2. So it's 1, 2, bit of 3, 4. So we want to move this into this screen here. And the way we can do that is, so that's it roughly there. So that's minus 0.35, 0.35. Okay, so how do we translate that into those different screens? So 0.35 is the start of, is where we start it. So 0 for all intents and purposes is way off where we are just now, because that's, so if I'm looking at this, that's going to be halfway through 3 and 4, the way that the screens are built. So if I go to, if I do this positively, so this one here, this should be negative 60, negative 0.6. So the next one should be negative 1.5. No. But it is 1. 1's going to take us back to there. 0.5. To 0.5. think I'm going to have it as negative 0.35. So that's going to start off there, and then we're going to call update radar position. So maybe we just cheat and we say, okay, that's the offset from there, and then we just figure out where the offset is based on the partition. So this should go to here. Okay, that's right. So there's that one there, and then actually it should be 3.6, I think. It's not going to let me do that because of this. This is a little infuriating. Okay, so negative 0.36. So that seems about right. Ish. I mean, it's giving you it's not an exact science, and I think those blips should be smaller, just the way that they are. But that's okay. So negative 0.36. So 36. I'm just going to cheat and say whatever the offset is here. Negative 0.36. And then radar position is going to be negative 0.36 plus whatever the percentage is of that. Oof. Because then the diff is going to be from there to there. So whatever the position is minus the leftmost one, which is going to be 0. Whatever it is, that should give us the correct offset. Is it moving? I don't think they're moving. Did I call it update? Helps if you call update. Alright, okay, so fingers crossed this works. Okay, so that looks roughly right. So we move to the right, that should scroll to the left. Oh, is it working? Boom. No, it's a little bit off, but I'm okay with that. Oh, we're getting more and more in. So we can see that we have 2 here. We get 3 in this screen. And then in this screen we've got 1, 2, 3, and then we've got 1, 2, 3. So there's a 1 coming up here. And there he is. And then we got another one here. And then so we should have, there's 1 there. So slightly off with the screen. But I think that's okay. And I think it's because of the blip sizes. So let's make the blip sizes a little bit smaller. So let's go to our prefabs. I'll go to lander. And our blip is, so that would be 0.125. And this would be 0.15, something like that, half size. Seems about right. Let's see what this has got. Boom. Okay, so now we have these positions here, and that looks a little bit better. So this one's slightly in from there. These 2 are here. So we go to the second screen, and there we go. We've got 1 right there. See, it's just slightly out. I think it gives us an idea. So that just jumped in there, and they just jumped in there as well. And so now they're all there. So that's good. And again, if I go and grab, if I go to this thing here and just grab the scene, and then I go down to one of the spawners. Where are we? And I choose one of the landers. Where are we? This guy here. And I just move him about. You'll see that he's actually moving about up there, which is perfect. And there you go. So watch that part of the screen there. So I can grab him and you can see that he's moving in real time. So yeah, that's it. That's the radar view done. Woohoo! So I think the next part of this will be to get the landscape done, because we also need that to appear down here as well inside the radar. But yeah, it's shaping up to be kind of nice. Oh yeah, we could probably also put in. So if we go back to canvas, let's do one more thing. There's also these bombs, the smart bombs. So if we go to UI, I think it's in here. We have blip, radar border, new. So go to here. Resources, PNGs, new, and then we do smart bomb. And then we drop that into the UI like that. We can then create another image, which is this one here, and then we just drop the smart bomb into it. Obviously that's the wrong size, so when we look at it in the game, it's going to be that size. So let's make it, what is the width of this? It is 12 by 6. So if we make this 12 by 6, there we go, there's our smart bomb. So we could probably make it a little bit better. 24 by 12. Yeah, and we'll make it point no filter. Apply, that's a bit better. And then the image is going to be up to here. So I'm going to go and grab that. And there's 3 of them. So we get that one there. And that one there. And that one there. So now, look at that. It's looking more and more like Defender. Okay, that might be a bit too big for the smart bombs. Oh yeah, we also need to change the upmost position of the ship as well. So let's do that. That's inside main camera, I think. No, is it inside main camera? Main controller. No, where is it? Is it inside main camera? Left cam, right cam. Scripts. There's a ship move. Ship move, leftmost, rightmost, top extreme. Aha, okay. So the most extreme position the ship is allowed. Okay, so if we go to here, and then this is, oh, that is. What is that? Okay, so ship. All right, okay, here we go. Player ship. Aha, that's why. So player ship, the left, that position is 0.17. So the topmost one, top extreme is 0.25. So we're going to make that 0.17. Okay. So if we go down to here, where are we? Top extreme is 0.17. So now when we run this, there we go. So now the player can't go beyond that position there, which is perfect, because they shouldn't be able to get beyond that. So that's good. So we're constraining them inside there as well. And then what we'll need to do next time is we'll get rid of the 1, 2, 3, 4, because we know that that works now. And we will add the landscape into it. So we'll do that next time. So thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. and the notification bell, and you'll get timely reminders of when I post up a new video. I hope you liked this one. As always, there's tons of information in the show notes below. If you click on there and expand it, you'll get a whole bunch of information. Yeah, and until next time, thank you again, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.